Hello there. Hello to all 83 of y'all. As of the last time I looked, which was, I think last night. Last night as I record, mind. By the time I upload this, everything may be changed, but I'm recording this at 21:56. That's 9:56 p.m. for y'all on the night of February 10th, 2026. As of right now, or at any rate the last time I looked, which, as I say, I think was last night, 83 subscribers. And as I've said before, that's nothing for just about everybody. But it's the most I've ever had. And to once again steal Casey Allen's point, y'all could be doing anything else. And yet you're subscribed to my channel, you're watching my videos, and I surely do appreciate it. This is a review, and unfortunately, unless something different happens on this, my third glass from the bottle, it is not going to be a greatly favorable review. I love doing reviews of stuff I love. But to be an honest reviewer, I also have to review things I don't love, maybe even don't like, that I have. And I think that's how this is going to go. But let's show you what we've got. It's a single barrel. The label calls it George Dickel Barrel Select. It's from George Dickel, which is in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Specifically, they're in Cascade Hollow. In the Appalachians, at least some people would pronounce it holler. I'm a Texan. You know, you have yellow, you have Amarillo, you have an armadillo, you got a holler and a window. I actually remembered to look things up. The mash bill, and as far as I'm aware, Dickel uses the same mash bill for all their Tennessee whiskey and their bourbon. And the only difference, by the way, between George Dickel Tennessee whiskey and George Dickel bourbon is the label. That's the only difference. They run it off the still, they run it through the charcoal, they put it in barrels, and only several years later do they decide which barrels will be bourbon. But their mash bill here is 84% corn, 8% rye, and 8% sprouted barley. And the age, I couldn't find any specific information, and being a single barrel whiskey, age does vary. But I found that it's going to be 10 or 12 years old. That sounds good, and I like Dickel. I thought it was going to be good, but this stuff is 86 proof. That's the same proof as a lot of Scottish whiskey that you get, you know, in the $30, $40, $50 range. That's the same proof as Laphroaig 10, which is my favorite Scotch, although I don't drink foreign whiskey very often. I'm a bourbon guy. 86 proof for a single barrel. Now, I realize that when you proof it down, you get more bottles out of a barrel. And you might have to do that because the angel share can greatly reduce how much whiskey is in the barrel. You know, just assuming, and I'm sure this is not the correct number, but just assuming that it costs $100 to make a barrel of whiskey, and you can get 200 bottles out of it, the angel share might reduce it down to where you can only get 100 bottles out of it, but it still costs you the $100 to make the barrel of whiskey. As I say, the numbers, I'm just pulling them out of my head. I'm sure the reality is different. It probably costs more to make a 1 barrel of whiskey. You got the grain, you got the electric, you got the upkeep on the stills and the building, you got the labor, you got the you got to pay the janitors and the secretaries, you got to maintain the rick houses, you got to buy barrels. There's so much money goes into a single bottle of whiskey. But what's this let's? I always do that, and the thing is, I'm here by myself. Well, my wife's asleep in the bedroom. You ain't here, so what's this let's? You know, as the old joke has it, Tonto saying to the Lone Ranger, what this we stuff, Kimosabe? Sometimes getting the cork back in is as interesting as getting it out. That's an awkward bottle, by the way. I hate awkward bottles. I want a bottle that you can grasp easily, that you can pour easily. Looking good is nice, but that's secondary. Okay, George Dickel Tennessee whiskey, the exact same mash bill, exact same rick houses, exact same Lincoln County process as the bourbon. But this is the single barrel at 86 proof. I'm getting a generalized nuttiness, and on their classic recipe, the black label, and their superior recipe, the white label, I get pecans on the nose and the palate. On their single barrel, the blue label, I get walnuts on the nose and the palate. Here, I'm not entirely certain, but if I had to name the nuts, I would say hazelnuts. Filberts, as some call them. Some people get nuttiness from anything out of Jim Beam. I almost never do. And it'll be like a couple of sniffs from one glass of one bottle, and then I'll drink the same stuff for months and not get it again. With Dickel whiskey, nuttiness is what I get. A lot of people get a Flintstones vitamin note from Dickel juice. I never have. One area where we do agree is that Heaven Hill juice has a peanut shell note on the nose, and not everybody gets that. Every palate's different. I have a video on that, by the way, in my Whiskey Basics playlist. There is that hazelnut note, if that's the kind of nuts it is. There's a little bit of citrusy in there, maybe orange, maybe lemon, maybe both. It's a little bit scorchy on my nose, which is a surprise for 86 proof, but my allergies have been eating me alive the past week or so, and that is part of it, I think. Part of the scorchy. There's just a slight piney woodiness in there. It's so faint that I'm barely getting it. And so I could even be misreading it. It's a pleasant nose. It's not more than that. And from a single barrel, you expect more than just pleasant. At least I do. This, by the way, I got it on the 26th of January at Kelly Liquors. It cost me $51.99, $52. From a $52 single barrel, I demand more than just pleasant. I have gotten more exciting noses off of $25 bottles. for 30 bucks. For what I'm getting so far, it seems, I would say that's on the upper end of a fair price. I'm not getting anything more off the nose, so let me see what's on the palate. The mouthfeel is just thin. And at 86 proof, that's what I expect. I don't expect much at all from an 86 proof mouthfeel. But even so, it's thin. I got a few flavor notes, but the disappointment of the mouthfeel is what I was focused on. And my first sip in a review is a mouthfeel sip anyways. That's how I do it. You can do things other ways if you're reviewing whiskey. That's not a problem. Because whiskey and tasting whiskey is so subjective. 20 people could taste this and have 20 different opinions. Doing whiskey is kind of like talking to Baptists. You get two Baptists together, you got 3 opinions. Take it from me, I haven't been a member of a Baptist church in 25 years or so, although my views haven't well, in one area they have, but my views are still aligned with those Baptists. But I know from experience that sometimes trying to get a group of Baptists to all go in the same route is like trying to herd cats. There's some citrus in there, some honey, a little bit of astringency. But as undistinguished as the nose is, it's just okay. And Josh and Aaron of Stuff and Whiskey, they have a very simple rating system. It used to be more complicated and they pared it down to the basics. It's either thumbs up, just okay, or thumbs down. The nose on this, using their rating system, is just okay. The palate is kind of halfway between just okay and thumbs down. It is really an undistinguished, uninteresting palate. I got even less that time. And again, from a single barrel that cost me 52 bucks, I expect a lot more. I get more from $20 Evan Williams bottled in bond than I'm getting from this. Less than half the price for the Evan Williams, and 10 times as good. I like Dickel, but this is the last bottle of this stuff I'll buy. And yes, single barrels differ. I understand that. But at 86 proof, you're adding so much water that you can't expect a different barrel to be materially better than this. And this isn't bad. Please don't understand me. It's better than Jack Black. It's better than Beam White. But it's on that same level. The quality of the whiskey is bottom shelf. The price isn't. The quality, the taste, the nose is. Let me get you the finish real quick. Oak. Woody oak. And that's it. It fades quickly. I'm not even getting any chocolate. This is a 10-ton disappointment. I will continue to buy Dickel. I'll get their bottled in bond. I need to go back and get another bottle of their Superior Recipe. It used to be the number 12, but they took the numbers off. I guess people were thinking that was the age. I need to get another bottle of that because it's good, but I've been drinking their bottled and bond. I'm not going to buy this unless, without jacking the price through the roof, they put the proof up to about 100. This juice is not going to be much better unless it's 100 proof or better, and it's way below that. As I say, I don't like doing unfavorable reviews, but if you're going to trust me, and I want you to, at least if your palate is roughly congruent with mine, I want you to trust what I'm telling you. Otherwise, why be here? You know, maybe there are people out there who get a kick out of deceiving those who watch their videos. That ain't me. And yeah, I know you have to take my word for it. I can't prove it to you except by doing what I'm doing and you seeing for yourself that I'm being honest. I don't like doing unfavorable reviews, but honesty requires me, when I'm not thrilled with a particular whiskey, to say so, and I'm saying so here. I'm so disappointed I almost forgot to give you my rating. It's my scale, by the way, if you've not seen any of my review videos, has 8 levels, 1 at the bottom, 8 at the top. The bottom, number 1, is bad, 2 is per. This doesn't quite fit into those categories, but it is 3, mediocre. Mid, as people are saying nowadays. That's 1.875 stars, not quite 2 stars. 37.5 out of 100, 3.75 out of 10. And on that note, may you have better whiskey tonight than I'm having.